you are going to be organize yourself. That organization is very important, and it's a first step for the success always. Then second is make sure your study is a space organized. For example, you want to read in a reading room or in the library or at home. So wherever it may be, there should be enough space, and you need to have your desk or a table so that you can keep and arrange all your textbooks and notes. Ensure that room is sufficiently bright because you need to have a good light because you don't want to spoil your eyes, and your chair is restful enough. All and you need to consider all these points because it's very important how you sit because it makes you comfortable. If you're going to sit lean, then definitely you are going to get a back pain or neck pain. So which we don't want in a long run because any medical course, minimum it will take 5 years to complete. In the 5 years period, we don't want any physical disability. Many times, the people who are looking or who are sitting in a wrong posture, they may get a cervical spondylosis or low back ache. So such conditions should not happen. That's why it's very important to arrange your space where you want to sit and how you want to sit, and you need to pay attention for the details which are going to get distracted. So such a distraction should be removed from the study space. Make sure that you feel comfortable whenever you're going to start a study and you could able to focus. See, many times, for example, there are some worship areas. So puja gadil untayi. So definitely when you go there, you feel different. Similarly, when you go to your study space, then you should feel I am concentrated and I'm comfortable so that you can sit quietly and you can study. And for some individual, so they need some complete silence. Many people, if there is any noise, then they will get angry because they want silence. And some people are able to read using music. So background music will be there so that they will concentrate. And some people may focus even there is a cluttered environment. So it all depends on different psychology. So you understand what is your psychology or what is your nature of studying, whether you want utmost silence or whether you could able to adjust with a family core. So that's all fine. So you make the study space friendly and pleasant so that you can fully concentrate on your subject. Always you use a flow charts and diagrams. It's very important. You need to have visual aids that can be especially helpful when revising the study material. See, many time what happens, you want to revise, you might have read many books, but you don't know how to recapitulate because it's very important at the start of the topic. So you please write down. So what all the things you are going to read it from that particular subject and from the book. And when it comes to the closer to the exam, transform your revision into a diagram. See, example, if you are going to study about anemia, so you need to understand the physiology, you need to understand the pathology. So you put it in a flow chart. So if you put it in a flow chart, then definitely that flow chart will make you visual remembers much better. For example, you might have seen a movie 10 years back, but still that movie scene is in front of your eyes because the visual remembrance is better than the reading remembrance. That's why always you make a visual aids like a flow charts and diagrams to put for your examination sake, and practice an old exam. See, usually when you are going to prepare yourself for the exams, so you take a old question papers because you will need to understand what is the format of examination and what's the formulation of the question. So how the questions will be given, then it also you will understand what they are going to expect from you in the examination from each chapter. That's why we ask you people to practice sometime old question papers, and that gives ample of time to practice because you need to understand what to write, what not to write within 3 years. Because within 3 years, you're supposed to write 70 marks, or else you're supposed to write 100 marks question paper. Those people who are writing for 70 marks, so they need to know what should be written within 3 years for 70 marks, and those people who are writing for 100 marks also, they need to understand how much should be written to complete 100 marks. Okay. The next is explain your answer to the others. Many time what happens, we read, but we don't know how to tell. That's a very biggest drawback. See, when you go for a vivas, probably you are a very good student, but you are unable to express it. So expressibility has to come only when you are going to discuss with your family members or friends. Otherwise, any peers. See, you try to give them the answers. For example, you take a medical subject. So if the patient comes to you with a diabetics, then definitely you need to discuss why the diabetics comes, what are the causes, and how you can prevent. So those all things will come when you're going to write the exams. For example, IDDM, insulin dependent diabetes mellitus. If there is a question of 5 marks, then you need to know what are the clinical features, what are the signs, symptoms, then how you are going to do the investigations. So those are all things you need to explain to others, because you are going to become a doctor, and at the end of the day, when you are going to discuss these answers, they are the answers which are going to make you to express to the students or as to the patients. So it's very important for you people to explain answer to the others. Then organize the study groups with the friends. So study groups are very important. It should not be meant for distraction. Just make sure the group is focused on the subject exactly, and they're not easily distracted. So you don't discuss anything else apart from the subject. You make a 2 or 3 study groups, depending on the subject wise, and you ask one student to read one topic and you read one more topic, so that it will save your time and it will make a rehearsal easy, and you can revise it easy within a short time. Because 3 people are going to read the 3 topics, then definitely these 3 people can sit together and they can discuss. So that the organization of study groups with the friends is also very important, and that gives you a better vocabulary, because you need to express, and esteem, self-esteem also, because you know how to express. Okay, then take regular breaks. It's very important. You should not sit for hours together, because retention of a knowledge is almost impossible in long hours. So you need to take a 30 to 45 minutes session, then you have a break. Then it's most important part of studying to develop a routine that fits to your study style. For example, if you want to wake up at 5 o'clock, imagine somebody is waking up at 5 o'clock, and morning they will go for their morning fresh up work, then come back and read for 40 minutes, then go for a bath, then once again come back before breakfast, then once again you can read it for 40 minutes, because usually 8:30 you're supposed to go to the college. That's a routine. So in that routine you're supposed to fit your study style, how you want to study. And now already you are in the lockdown period, so what is your routine? So you think what you are going to do. So you wake up in the morning 6 o'clock or 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock. So accordingly set your study style, because you need to understand how much is the study remaining for these many duration. For example, today is 25th. So if you're going to plan it from tomorrow onwards till November 6th or 7th, when you are going to write the exams, hardly you are left out with a 10 or 14 days. So within 10 or 14 days, you're supposed to put a timetable, and you're supposed to keep that is for a first revision. Okay. So it may be a first revision or it may not be first revision. So in those conditions, you're supposed to understand your study style, what you are going to read and how much you are going to read. Then next is very important, healthy food. See, I have seen many students when they will come to the examination hall, they will be fatigued, and many people will fall and they become unconsciousness. Why this happens? Because they will skip the food. They don't want to eat proper healthy food. So you should have a healthy eating habits, and you never put on, because it's a growing age until 30 or until 28 or 25. If you don't have a physical exercise, I have seen all medical students, dental students, nursing students, you will have a lot of work to do. You have to run behind the classes, you have to go to the clinics, you have to go to the pre-clinics. I don't think you will put on many times. So in those conditions, if you need to eat healthy food, because that's very important, which is going to nourish and give the fresh vitamins to your all the body parts, so that you will have a good concentration and memory. If you won't eat, definitely the hemoglobin content is going to decrease, then you are going to be a weak person, then you are unable to concentrate and you are unable to sleep. So finally, you are unable to do the proper study. That's why always we say eat a healthy food. It is good for brain. And plan the day for your exam. See, when it comes to the exam day, check all the rules and requirements in advance. Talk to your seniors how they have went. If you are the fresher, for example, I'm telling about the first years who are going to write first year examination, university examination. Plan it properly. So in on which day you are going to go for the exam, and if you are coming from home, otherwise if you are coming from some other village, you plan your route, because many times because of the rain, there are the roads which are having a potholes. If you want to drive and come, probably you should reach early, because you need to add some more extra time. You don't know if some eventuality is going to happen, and you should not be anxious, and you don't rush, and don't arrive late, because if you arrive late, definitely it is going to make your mind stressful. To prevent that, on the day of exam, you please always be early, sit quiet. Don't do last moment reading. Many times we suggest to people you should not do last moment reading because that overrides whatever you have read. And that will make you more anxious and stressful. If you are anxious and stressful, then certainly you are unable to remember much. And drink plenty of water. This is very important because you need to cleanse your body. I have seen many people having urinary calculi because they will never ever drink the water and they don't have a time to drink water. No, health is very important and health is a priority. If health is there, then only everything is there. You write and you become a good gold medalist. But if you're sick, then definitely you are not going to be able to treat a patient. So while studying for exams, even during exams, it is advisable to drink water and remain hydrated because vitals are very important. And when you are going to have a good vitals and you will have a positive mood. So these are the 10 take-home messages. So let me revise in a very brief. Give yourself enough time to study. You need to schedule yourself. Make sure your study space is organized where you are going to sit. Charts and diagrams. Practice old examinations. Explain your answer to others. Organize study groups with friends. Take regular breaks. It's very important. Physical exercise is also very important. And have a healthy, good food for your brain and which is going to have a concentration and memory. Plan the day for your exams. Drink plenty of water. So with this, let me finish how you are going to prepare for your exams. So once you have prepared, example, so the exam day have come. Okay, so that time what you supposed to do? So I hope I am clear till here. Yes. So I welcome Srinivas sir. Srinivas sir is there with us in the panel. So sir, I have finished my first part, how to prepare for the exam. So I'm going to take another 10 minutes time on the day of exam, what they're supposed to do. Then I'll give the stage to you so that you can answer a few queries. So welcome you sir for the session.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Let me continue. Is there any questions, Kausalya? Kausalya Kumari. I hope it is audible to you.
No,
Yes.
sir,
I hope it is audible to you. Yes.
Sir, it is audible for me, sir. Here signal problem is there. That's why starting I can't audible your voice, sir.
Okay. Thank you.
Now it's
So,
okay, sir.
thank you. So,
Thank you, sir.
Till now, I have explained how you're supposed to prepare yourself and organize yourself for the studies. Okay. Then let me go ahead further and I'll tell you what you're supposed to do during exams. Okay. So, for example, you are going to have an examination another 10 days. You should not be nervous basically. You create your study schedule. See, for example, you have completed. Imagine all of you have completed one reading. Okay. So now this is the time, the exam timetable has come from university and you need to make yourself comfortable and mark the exam dates on your calendar. You keep a small calendar, otherwise you can write in a plain book so that your exam date when it falls, which day it falls, make a calendar. So in that calendar, so you need to look after because you can stick that calendar in front of your table where you sit and study every day, so that you won't miss the day. Okay. Then quietly you can register for exam because there are some work which has to be done in our office. So you go to the office and get ready with the examination form, fill it up, and get the hall ticket. So all those things should be needy and handy. Then after writing, what you have to do? You need to decide. See, how much time you are going to devote for studying and preparing for the final examination. That's very important because see, whatever you have read for a year, it has to be summarized in 3 years. So when you're going to summarize in 3 years, you need to understand how much you are going to study and what you are going to study. It's not that you are going to start from line 1 till the end of the index. No, it is not possible within those short period of time. That time you're supposed to understand how you are going to devote your time for the preparation. For example, if you are left out with 1 month, imagine if you are left out with 1 month and think of the schedule. How many holidays will come? Is there any days you want to go out with a family? Or is there any festivals which are going to come in? So all those things has to be removed from the schedule so that you can accommodate all your subjects. For example, first year BDS, first year MBBS, nursing, you may have around 4 to 5 subjects. So accordingly, you divide the days. See, for example, after removing holidays, festivals, you are left out with 10 days. You have got one subject, anatomy, only one subject. Imagine, just for example, so in 10 days, you need to complete your anatomy subject. So for how many hours a day? That's very important. Okay, every day, 1 hour you're going to dedicate. So you need to understand how many topics you are going to cover in anatomy. 10 topics, 20 topics, depending on the topics, depending on the pages. So there is a thumb rule that you need to understand what is the quantum of study you're supposed to perform in 10 days and divide the 10 days according to those. For example, if you want to read 200 pages in 10 days, that means it's very clear. You divide 200 pages into 10. Then you will have a, then you are going to have how many? 20 pages per day. Imagine if you are going to read 20 pages per day, how many hours you supposed to spend. So that's how you're supposed to calculate your day and your schedule. Once you schedule properly, then it's very important. You need to sleep also, because no, I have got 20 pages, so I want to leave my sleep and I want to do the reading. No, it is not possible. When you do this, then definitely you are going to harm your memory. If you want to sleep properly, then there will be a trouble for your health. So we don't want you people to fall sick during examination. Many times I have seen the students who will fall sick and they'll be get admitted, they will be under saline. So many things will happen. So that we don't want. So you be healthy and read proper. And you need to note the days. You need to give a break. So you need to break for the rest, because the day when you're going to start studying, it may be per week or at least a few hours a day. So you pack yourself how you want to do, and you give some hours of time for your rest. And you need to fix your time. So for how many hours you want to read in the morning, in the afternoon, and in the evening. And each subject, see, I don't want you people to read at a stretch 1 or 2 hours one subject. No, it is not good idea. You need to break your subject, you need to give a gap, then you need to switch on to the next subject, because that's how the brain will take up new subjects. Okay, so you consider doing that. Then you also consider, you plan to read. See, many times what happens, you keep on reading, but you need to rewind sometime. That's what we say it as a reviewing the subjects. So you can talk to your friends and you can talk to your study group and finalize the topic. So these are the few things when you are going to prepare. And one more thing, it's very important, the reviewing material. So when you want to revive the material, you're supposed to have a good space, which is a quiet and calm, and you keep all the things arranged. You should not throw haphazardly, because searching will take your much of time. To prevent that, you keep everything arranged, and if you're going to put your hand in particular space, you are going to get that particular book. That means so much, so you're supposed to arrange your study space. Otherwise, you are going to lose the time. Nicely you arrange, okay, and get ready for the exams. So how you supposed to get ready for the exam? The day of examination. So let me share the PPT. So I have made some PPT just to make comfortable. So I'll share you the PPT so that you can see the PPT, and we'll have a small discussion. Okay, I'm going to share you my PPT of 11 slides. So I'll be very much happy, because these are the times and days when you are going to do some studies. Somebody should be there to you people who can explain you and who can tell you how you're supposed to do. Okay, so here I am sharing my screen. So Bhavana, I think it's visible.
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. So let us see how you. This is a topic on. So already we have explained tips for writing exams for undergraduates. Okay. So Bhavana Krishna has already explained who I am. So NSS program coordinator, and I am a professor in the Department of Oral Surgery. Those people who have joined late, for them just a brief introduction. So how to relax before a final examination? It's very important. Many people I have seen, they'll be rushing. No, we got exams. So better you stay calm, because staying calm makes you stressless. If you're stressful, definitely you will forget many things. Even in the examination hall, the people will be stressful. So just they will come and sit, they'll be thinking too many things, and which question comes, which question will not come, and they'll be discussing even at the end moment. So they should not be. That's why we say stay calm the day before. You don't read anything, just sit quiet so that your mind will rearrange everything and use a schedule. So in order to stay calm, you need to have a firm grasp on your time. See, it's very important. So you should not keep rush. See, for example, you are coming from Hyderabad to Guntur in the morning 5 o'clock train. Then if you're going to wake up at 4:45, then definitely you will not. It's very difficult for you to rush through from your home till the station, nearest station, and you catch a train. It is not possible. That's why always you need to have a firm grasp on your time. At what time you're going to wake up, at what time you will be get ready, and at what time you're going to collect all the materials, pen, all ticket, everything. So everything should be arranged before night. And you should not hurry in the morning. You probably want to review, but you should also take a few hours for yourself. See, always it's better, it's not a good idea to review before you go for exam. The best way to find a the best way to find a good balance is to use a daily sheet to monitor your activities and leave time for breaks. It's important to stop once in a while to allow your brain to rest, because it's very important. You need to rest yourself. If you won't rest, then definitely your brain will not go further. Get up and walk around, give yourself a good stretch. See, whenever you sit quiet, just you can have a stretch. So in sitting position only you can have a stretch so that you will be relaxed. And be realistic. Instead of trying to review everything, set priorities. If you target your weakness, you will cover far more ground. So definitely you will have some weakness. Okay, you need to understand what is your weakness while studying. Okay, then so eat and drink well. See, second tip during exams. See, I'm talking during exams. Okay, not before. Okay, before also you're supposed to perform, and during stress has effect on the body and on our ability to study. Try to maintain a healthy diet and remember that moderation is the key. It's very important. If you won't eat properly, then definitely gastric problem. I have seen many people who have called in the mid of the night, because I stay many times in the campus. So they will call, sir, I am having a problem. So why? Because they will not eat properly, which will lead to the gastric problem. All youngsters, they will not eat timely food. That's why they will go for a gastric problem. Probably, sir will agree with me. And there is no need to drink 10 cups of coffee or energy drinks to work more efficiently. If anything, it will make you more nervous and might prevent you from sleeping. Because sleep is also very important. If you take anything heavy, then it is not good for health. Drink plenty of water. It's good for your body. And research has demonstrated that boosts your brain reaction time, because hydration is very important for each and every person. Don't eat spicy, greasy, and heavy foods. It takes longer time to digest and could make you always sleepy. That's why you should not eat heavy foods during the examination. Then try, sorry, try relaxing herbal tea. Okay, peppermint, because they are all good choice to unwind, and avoid illegal substance. Many people try to do some cognitive enhancing drugs. There are some drugs, okay, which will keep you more opt and what you can say alert, but it is not good to take, and it's illegal and it is dangerous also. Then don't drink alcohol. You might think it helps you to sleep. Yes, definitely, but it is going to disrupt your REM sleep. That type of deep sleep that helps you make feel awake and alert in the next morning. Okay, that's why we ask you not to drink the alcohol. Then you don't want to hangover in the morning for the big exam. So skip boozing. So you'll be glad you did it. Okay, do some exercise. Sport is a great way to release the pressure after a hard day of work. You will probably have spent a lot of time in your room studying. Going outside doing physical activities will relax your muscles and occupy your mind with something funny. And sports is also great, and avoid dangerous games. And you don't do any dangerous games. Okay. So sometime I have seen some people will be doing skating and all, or cycling, and they will fall and they will have a leg fracture, and they will come up with the ties to the exam. No, you don't do that such. So you can have a brisk physical activities. It may be jogging or some breathing exercises or yoga exercises, which will keep you healthy. And you don't want to break your leg at the day before your exams. Okay, that's why you don't do any dangerous games. Go with your friends and combine social and physical activities, which will be rewarding, because team energy is very important. I try some aromatherapy because you feel very jittery, and try using essential herbal oil to help you unwind and to have a relaxation. Add few drops to eye mask and your pillow so that you can have a cool calm mind, and lavender has been shown to help people relax and de-stress and fall asleep. And you can also try one of the following to help battle anxiety and stress. See, there are many jasmine. Okay, so these are the few aroma therapies which can be done to prevent stress. And take a warm bath because it will help you to relax and get ready for the sleep. And add a few drops of lavender or another essential oil to help soothe your nerves. That's very important. And we always suggest stop working at least 30 minutes before going to bed because it's very important. You need to have a cooling period for your brain. Otherwise, the brain will keep thinking. Listen to some music or read a cookbook or some books so that you will have a cool mood for sleep. Then don't call a friend to talk about exams. It will also make you to be stressful. Avoid blue light from screens such as phones, TV, laptop, or tablets for at least 2 to 3 hours before you go for the sleep. Even if it is not possible for 2 to 3 hours, at least 2 hours before sleep, you don't use these gadgets.
Oh,
Blue light emitted from screens can interfere with your body's melatonin production and keep you from sleeping well. Okay, try some breathing exercises. Deep breathing can help you relax your body and get ready to sleep. Focus on breathing your diaphragm and take 6 to 8 deep breaths. These are all the breathing techniques. And place one hand on your belly and below your rib cage and one hand on your chest so that you can feel your breathing. Okay, inhale through your nose and exhale so that you can feel. And certainly these breathing exercise definitely will help you to calm the mind. Okay, and you can do this 4 to 5 minutes and repeat this 6 to 8 times per minute for a few minutes. Okay, so these things are going to, and try relaxing your muscles in groups. These are called progressive muscle relaxation. This technique can help you distress and get ready for sleep. Begin with your toes, squeeze them as tightly as you can for 5 seconds and release the tension and relaxation. This is called a tension and relaxation method. See, sometimes you can just tightly make the fist and just leave it so that it's a tension and relaxation method including facial muscle exercises. Then move up to your feet and curl them forwards and towards the knees as hard as you can for 5 seconds. So just you can practice now also. So literally that makes you to relax all your muscles. And continuing tension and relaxation muscle group of muscles, all of your body, including legs, buttocks, stomach, back, shoulders, neck, and face, so that completely you are going to relax your body. So with this, I thank once again for patient listening. So that finishes my presentation for you people. So I request Bhavana to continue with the schedule. Bhavana.
Yes, sir.
So I'll stop sharing my screen. Okay.
Yes,
So now you can continue the session. Okay.
Sir, we have some students posting questions in the chat box.
Okay. Then that's good. So almost we have done with the program, and we are having the panelist. So I welcome Srinivas sir once again for the panel discussion. So here we are having a medical faculty, dental faculty, nursing faculty, physiotherapy, and Unani. All faculty we are having, and we are having the students from all the backgrounds. Okay. So if there are any questions, so let me start the question answer session to Srinivas sir.
Thank you, sir.
So let me tell my experience as examiner. Basically, just I want to relax all the students through this session. See, all the examiners will be there to pass you people. Keep in mind, everybody there to examine you to pass, not to fail. Okay, so you be optimistic, number one. And number two, we don't have physical papers to examine when you are going to do the examination papers. So it's very important how you to write, okay, and what not to write, because those are the 3 points which I supposed to cover, I have not covered. So before going into the question answer session, let me brief you. See, it's very important is a time management. Okay, for 70 marks or 100 marks, 3 years is a time. So how much you supposed to write and how, what to write, what not to write. Okay, that's very important. Srinivas sir is going to tell about that also. Okay, so let us have a time. In 3 years, he can write maximum 30 to 35 pages. Okay, imagine if you are going to write a 70 marks paper. So just I'm giving you example. Okay, 70 marks paper, you want to write it in 3 years. That means it is around 30, 60, 180 minutes. So 180 minutes for 70 marks. Then definitely 1.5 hours for 90 minutes, you're supposed to finish 35 marks. Then another 90 minutes, you are going to 35 marks. That finishes 70 marks. Okay. Then that 35 marks you're supposed to divide once again. So you divide that 35 marks in the 90 hours. Okay, 90 minutes. Certainly, if it is going to be a 100 marks, if it is going to be 100 marks, then you are going to divide that 100 marks into 90 minutes, because 1.5 hour is a 90 minutes, 50 marks, and another 90 minutes, 50 marks. That 50 marks you're supposed to divide once again in that 90 minutes how much you want to write. Okay, so that is very important. And when you're going to divide, certainly you are going to write it properly. If you don't know how to split the hours, for example, 10 marks question, how many pages you want to write? Okay, so those questions will be answered by Srinivas sir. Sir, once again, you are welcome, sir. So Bhavana will moderate the session. So you can read the questions, please.
Sir, Srinivas sir, good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. Yeah, I read it. Sir, is it only to study the previous question papers? I read those questions.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'll be answering those things.
Yes. Thank you,
First,
sir.
thank you very much, Dr. Vivekanand and Bhavana, for making me a member of the panel, because to address NSS people is something great. I was a program officer for a few months in Pidnin Siddhartha Medical College also, because there was suddenly a program officer had resigned and gone to another college. So we used to bridge the gap. And I have seen one peculiar thing in NSS. Though you are spending so much time away from your books, somehow you manage to get first class. So in our college, I used to tell, if you are going to do social work, I don't know how you are getting first class. Then those children used to answer, Sir, when we have that program, we study beforehand. So because they have that program, they are almost regular. So there are some who used to miss college, they used to miss classes. In spite of this, they used to get first class. So if you are a good organizer in NSS, you will know how to organize your study also. That's how I used to feel. As Dr. Vivekananda very clearly pointed out, if you have done all those things, writing your exam will be very, very easy. And one question was, will the exam question paper be very difficult, or will it be easy? Because we had so much of holidays, so will it be difficult or easy? Remember, question papers are never difficult or easy. Question papers are only there. They are the questions from your own textbooks. Only thing is, we have not studied it. Because we didn't study, it becomes difficult for us. If you had studied, it is easy for us. So the question paper, difficult or not, is not the question. How we have studied it or not. And I've come to know that 50% of you are nursing students who are attending today, and some of you are from dental. So when you have a varied group like this, some days you will have to answer 2 subjects together. For example, in dental, you will have physiology and biochemistry together. So 2 subjects you will have to answer. That means 2 subjects you will have to study on a single day. This is also very difficult. So I am going to briefly tell you how to make it very easy. Okay. See, you will have essay questions, you will have short answers, and you will have very short answers. And as someone clearly pointed out, now you don't have time to study the entire portion again. So you take the old question paper book and only study those answers for 1 week, because there is no time for you to go through the whole thing again. So take one question, and the textbook you keep it, and for an essay question you write 8 points. 8 points has to be there in an essay question. And remember, many of your essay questions are being given as short answers as well as very short answers. It is not that short answers are entirely different, very short answers are entirely different, and your long answers are entirely different. For example, I saw a very short answer, that is 2 marks question, as signs and symptoms of diabetes mellitus. And short answer, diabetes mellitus. See, it is an essay question, but you are an undergraduate. When a short answer is answered, you remember you have to write only a few points. So signs and symptoms, you write 2 points. Treatment, you write 2 points. Complications, you write a few points. That's enough. You don't have to write the entire signs and symptoms and then find time that you see that you don't have time to complete the answer. So the best thing is prepare all essay questions. All the essay questions which are there, you prepare it as points. And as Dr. Vivekananda was telling, you try to prepare it as flowcharts. It is very easy. And remember, if you have 10 days for your exam, all this should be over within 7 days. Last 3 days are only for you to revise the flowcharts that you have written, or only to revise the points that you have written. And when you are writing down the points in your notebook, remember, you note down the page number of the textbook from which you have studied. Because now I've seen that many of you are studying from PDF files because you have left your textbooks in college and you went off. You don't have your physical textbooks. So you are reading from your PDFs, that is from the books that you have downloaded. So it will be very difficult for you to again go through the whole thing. So you write down the textbook page number, write down the points. Last 3 days, you only go through those points. And with every question, you practice one diagram or one flowchart. If you don't remember the answer also, you will remember the diagram, you will remember the flowchart. So as an examiner, as a person who is correcting the question paper, I will be very happy only to go to the flowchart and the diagram and give you full marks instead of going through your entire essay. Understood? Because we are also having the restriction of correcting so many papers in a single day that we try to find the easiest way out. So we only see the points. That's why when you're writing a point, underline the point. Or you can write it with a, especially nursing students I see, they write it with a different color or underline with a different color. But remember, especially for nursing students, I will tell you, don't draw flowers, don't draw clouds, don't try to make your answer paper beautiful. No one is going to give you marks for that. Understood? And if someone has told you that they are not going to read your answer, they are only going to turn the pages. So you write the question, answer, 4 or 5 pages, leave so much of lines in between, distance between, and write more number of pages. It is very easy. Now the restriction is there on the number of lines also you have to write in a paper, in a page. So remember, all those things are not correct. What your seniors must have told you might be wrong. You write what you know. You write what you know with a diagram and as a flowchart. That will be the easiest way. So when it comes to a short notes and very short notes, you just write 1, 2, 3, 4 points. That's enough. And remember, don't try to leave any answer. Whether you know or not, if you have studied that chapter, try to write something about that. Because if you leave the question, some marks will be 0. Suppose it's a 2 marks question. You will get 0 marks if you leave the question. But suppose you attempted something, they will give you half a mark. Out of 2 marks, you are getting half a mark. Remember, that is pretty big. Understood? Out of 2 marks, you are getting 0.5 marks, means it's pretty big. So don't leave any questions. Try to attempt everything. If you don't know the question answer, you try to write something connected with that. Understood? Suppose anemia is given. You don't remember anything about anemia. You write, anemia is seen more in India. Understood? That's a true statement. You know that. Anemia is seen in malnourished people. These things you know with general knowledge also. Okay. So if you write these 2 points, you will be given 1 mark. Instead of leaving away the answer complete. So first thing is try to read the question. And when you read the question paper, it is not important for you to write from the beginning. Question number 1, question number 2, question number 3. Write the questions that you know very well. And another mistake which some people are doing is confusing with the A and B part of the question paper. When you have A and B part, A part you have to write in the A paper, B part you have to write in the B paper. So be very careful about that. Don't write the B answer in the A paper and then start worrying about it. Understood? So you see which questions you know in the A paper. You write down the best answer which you know. Then you go to the B part of the paper, which is the best question you know. You write that answer. Then you see the next best one. So you write from the familiarity of the questions that you have studied. It is not that all questions will be the same familiarity to most of us. Most of the average persons will have read some very well. Some they might have just gone through it. Some they might not have gone through it at all. So you have to answer from questions that you know very well. Understood? So it is very easy now. You have taken the question. If it's an essay question, you have written points, you have written a flowchart, you have written a diagram, and try to limit your time. That is very important. Just because you know one question very well, don't spend half the time writing that answer. So divide the time equally, as Dr. Vivekananda just now told you. What is the time for the essay question? What is the time for the short notes? What is the time for the very short question answers? If you divide it, then it is very easy for you to answer the question paper. So I think I have answered the question about whether you have to study the previous question papers. Well, that is the only thing that you can do now. Study those question papers, prepare answers for it in a separate book, and the last 3 days you only go through the book. So, sir, how many pages should we have to write for 10 marks? That's what I was trying to tell. It is not at all the number of pages which is important, whether you have covered all the points or not. So instead of writing pages and pages of unnecessary stuff, you can write only 10 points. I had gone to Eluru, Ashram Medical College, as an observer for a nursing exam. There, some students had come from some missionary college there. And I was surprised by the way they were answering. Almost everyone was answering the same way. The question was, other colleges were not answering. The question was about fetal circulation. It seems fetal circulation is a very unusual question for them. Only this college students were answering. When I saw what they were doing, they were drawing the diagram of the fetal circulation and they were writing 9 points about fetal circulation, which their staff member had given them as notes itself. In their college, they are given notes. So they went through the notes only and diagram. If I would have corrected that paper, I would have given full marks because they had covered everything in that 8 points. 1, 2, 3, 4. It was an essay question, remember. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They had 8 points they had written. They had drawn the diagram of the fetal circulation. So there is nothing, I mean, it is only 2 pages that they have written. Diagram in 1 page, 8 points in 1 page. But they are going to get the full marks. So don't think that if you write pages and pages, you'll be getting more marks. It is the points that the examiner is going to see. So that's why I told you, when you are writing a point, underline it, or you write that point with a different color. I think underlining it is better. I've seen some students writing with a different color, the heading of the point, but that will take more time. So it is better for you to underline with some other color pencil. So don't believe in that how many pages you have to write for 10 marks, how many pages you have to write for short questions and ultra short questions. But ultra short questions, don't try to make it very, very, very long. Understood? Because the time is very important. So divide the time between your essays, short notes and ultra short notes. Yeah, we want to know how to write the answer paper full. Yeah, I told you, isn't it? Try to answer from the best question that you know. Understood? Part A or part B. You see whether your question paper is answer paper is also divided into part A and part B. Part A you take you know very well. Complete that answer in that part B paper. Then you come to part A and you see whether which answer is easier for you and you write it. So the answer that you are writing should be from the knowledge that you know. So whichever you know best, you try to answer first. Whatever you are little doubtful, you try to answer it late. So that is the way how you have to answer the paper. Don't think that they will cut your marks because you answered the short note first, essay question you wrote last. That's why they will get a bad impression. Understood? The examiner will not have time to think about bad impression, good impression and all that. They are only interested in correcting what the student has written, what he has understood, whether they have also understood the concept or not. That is what they want to know. So if the points are there, they are going to give marks. And as Dr. Vivekananda told, nowadays, most of the people who are doing the corrections want to pass the student, not want to fail the student. When we were students, our paper was corrected before us in our Viva. So we never used to answer if we don't know. Nowadays, that is all not there. You can answer all the questions. You have nothing to fear. And the examiners also have become very, very student friendly. So if you know a little about the answer also, you can write the answer. Hope I have cleared most of your doubts. If you have any other doubts, you can please ask.
Thank you very much. So just I want to add one more point here. See, when we are going to do the online examination correction for the papers, it's very difficult to scroll down because our eyes will be getting strained every time. And I have seen many people who have not put the question number. It's very important. There are some universities where the question answer booklet will come with a number. So the number will be printed on the answer booklet. In that particular space only they have to write the answers, and even pages also stipulated. Rajiv Gandhi University recently have a PG examiner. So in the PG exam, they have very clearly written question numbers. So they're supposed to write within those many pages only. They cannot overwrite. If they want to overwrite, then they need to scratch it off the next number, and it's very difficult to manage. So they have specified the page numbers and they have specified the question marks in the answer booklet. So if it is so, in Dr. NTR Health University, there is no question numbers, but we need to put. I have seen many papers because I used to be the in charge for the investigation center. So many people will not put the numbers. When you are not going to put the numbers, and if the examiner is strict, according to the rule, will assign no marks, because we don't want to search the question and answer for us. It is not possible. So please, everybody put the question number in the top and make underline, and in the left corner. In the left corner, when you're going to start, you put, and any new questions you are going to start, you better start in a new page because there are around 52 pages booklet. I hope Bhavana Krishna, it's a 52, nowadays.
Yes, sir.
So 52 pages is more than sufficient. Okay. So even if you write a fresh question on a fresh page, that is more than sufficient to see the question number, because when we're going to do the evaluation of the computer, the left hand side, there will be a marking panel and the paper will be seen in the right hand side. So you need to keep on scrolling down. That's why sir has told very clearly, you should not keep on writing with the spaces. Minimum in page, you read the instructions of university, 20 lines should be written in one page. So 20 lines, already sir has told, even if you write 8 lines, will give you a full marks. That indicates the matter what you're supposed to write, you're supposed to write that one only. It's like a mathematics. Biology is like a mathematics. Okay. So for example, symptoms of anemia, you write symptoms 1, 2, 3, 4, polyphagia, polydipsia, polyuria, that finishes. Okay. You don't require anything else to write. So similarly, you comprehensively write. When you're going to write comprehensively, then definitely examiner will be very happy to see and give the marks, because it is visible in one single paper, everything. He need not scroll down for 4 or 5 pages to comprehensively see what all the answer he has written. It's very difficult. That's why always we say you write a minimum 18 to 20 lines in one page, so that all the answers will be seen in a single page. And better to have a flow diagrams, and better to have a charts, and better to have a tables. So we don't want to have Bahubali stories, and we don't want to check your English language also. So if the answer is there, for example, anything, you take any questions. So for that particular question, we will check whether you know the answer or not. I am right, sir? Srinivas, sir?
Yes, sir. Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, there is no point in writing stories about it.
Yes, sir. So some people have asked how to score more marks. See, scoring of more marks is possible only when you are not going to leave any single question behind. So if you leave the question, then definitely that particular question will get a 0 marks. It's not possible. So already sir has told very clearly, for 10 marks question, if you write 20 pages, the maximum marks allotted will be 10 only, will not give you 20. Then definitely for 10 marks, you're supposed to understand how many number of lines or what is the content you're supposed to write. Whether you want to write in a 2-page or 3-page, it's left to you. But you need to write a complete answer. For example, clinical features, radiological features, investigations, treatment plan. So usually 10 marks, one question with the diabetes mellitus. Then we are going to divide the marks into 2, 2, 2, 2. Definition of diabetes, types of diabetes, clinical features 2 marks, investigation 2 marks, and treatment 2 marks. So total 5 points, 2, 2 marks. So you split question into 2 small segments and write it off. So hardly this will cover in 2 pages. So you will get full 10 marks. It's not that you are going to write 10 pages, but without these points. Example, if anybody is going to write trauma. So trauma, etiology, differential diagnosis, investigations, then surgical management, medical management. So 5 points, 10 marks. So certainly you divide all the questions except ultra short answers, 2 marks questions. So all other questions should be divided into a small fragments and you answer accordingly so that you will get a full marks, so that you can score full marks without writing any Bahubali stories. I hope I have answered your question. Then next question is, how can we decide the examiner will be the same thought while correction? Yes, definitely all the examiners, the last question, all the examiners will have a same thought because they are all human beings. And they are not demons. So they don't want, see, by seeing your paper, we don't have rivalry with you people, okay? We have here to make you people a better doctor, okay? All the teachers, whoever sits in this position, everybody will think, yes, the student, many times I have seen as a room in charge, the examiner will be asking, I am searching for the right answers in the Bahubali script. So they will keep searching and they will be marking. So imagine everybody's mindset will be the same. But I don't want you people to do that. You write exactly what you know and opt to that particular question so that you will get a good score and you will be passed. And you just think or you can ask your seniors or juniors how many have failed. It's very less people who will fail if they are going to leave the questions unattempted. If you write 2 or 3 questions perfectly, then you left all the questions, and definitely you will not have passing marks, because at least the question already sir has told how the examination question paper will be set. Whether they will be too hard, too soft. No, it is not like that. A average student can answer such a way the examination paper will be set so that every student can write the exam and he can pass. And the topper, who is a distinguishing personality, who will score more. So there are some difficulty in questions. So who will be answered by the people who is going to get a distinction. Okay, that's how the pattern of questions will be set by all the examination panel. So I hope I have answered all the questions. I thank at the outside Srinivas sir, with a very short notice. Sir has joined the program.
It was my pleasure, sir.
Yeah, and it was really nice to interact with all the students, because many people have joined as a COVID warriors. And at the outset, as a NSS University Coordinator, I thank our Vice Chancellor, Registrar, because any program of NSS, actually today I have not invited sir, otherwise Vice Chancellor sir would have been here as a chairing the session for this session. And all support, we get it from our Registrar sir, because recently we have bought Cisco WebEx meetings. At a time we can involve 1,000 students in any program. So if there is any program in future, already we are going to have one program on 29th on breast cancer awareness program, which Vice Chancellor sir is going to address the gathering along with some panelists. So I ask all the students and volunteers who are attending this program, so make sure that there are around 950 registrations are there. So I hope that day the program will be full. And I request Srinivas sir also to be there in the panel, because it's a lively 1 hour program on 29th evening 4 to 5. So with this, once again, I thank all of you people being with us. And I hope this session is going to give you some take home message, and all the best for your exams. Once again, I wish Vijayadashami, and you are going to kill all the evils and you are going to get through the exams definitely. And it's my pleasure to see many of the faces. So you, at the last moment, you can switch on all your videos, because the screen grab will be there. There is a recording. So the recording will be uploaded to YouTube channel and Facebook channel. We are having a YouTube and Facebook for NSS page at Dr. NTR Health University. The same logo what you are seeing behind my screen. Okay, that is there. So you, all of you can just switch on. Those people who are there in the first page, at least their faces can be recorded, that their presence is there for the program. So once again, I thank, and I request Srinivas sir if you want to say a few words, because we have left out with the 8 minutes time to.
Okay. So this is not concerned with the exam, but because this is a medical students wing, I want all of you to go to the government website and download about COVID. Especially Ayurvedic guidelines are there, homeopathic guidelines are there, Ayush guidelines, and that is for the other systems also, the guidelines are there. And to my surprise, I have come to know that many doctors didn't know this, that there are guidelines given by the government of India to Ayush systems also, naturopathy, yoga. So I request all of you to download these guidelines, go through them thoroughly so that you can use those things, because this is not going to finish off very fast. It is going to stay for 1 year or 1.5 years. You start using those guidelines at least for your family members and people whom you know. This will be, because I heard Harsha telling that he had not attended any webinar and all that. So you don't have to attend any webinar. You just download that. You can have a webinar to your family members by thoroughly going through the guidelines given in yoga. I think you are physiotherapy. So in yoga, they have
Yes,
given
sir.
guidelines. They have given guidelines in yoga. Beautiful guidelines. You just ask
Yes.
your people to follow them and see. NSS, you have to have confidence in yourself.
Okay,
Understood?
sir.
Don't think
Definitely.
that I am only a student. I will not be able to tell it to elders and all that. Huh? You
No,
are
sir.
students.
Not at all.
The world is ready to listen to anyone about COVID nowadays. Understood? And if it comes
Sir,
from the
I
person
understood.
of your own branch, they will be still more ready to hear it. So all the persons, all students, I want them to download the entire set so that you can at least tell your family members about this.
Yes, sir.
And you don't have to worry don't have to worry about anything about your exams. All of you will
Okay,
do
sir.
very well, because it is from my personal experience that I'm telling you. The NSS volunteers of my college are all first class students. I don't know. That was really strange for me. When they send the message after they finish their exam, and one is a gold medalist in pediatrics. Understood? One of the leading girls who was always thoroughly into social service, she got a gold medal in pediatrics, a final year exam. So you have nothing to worry. You do
Okay, sir.
entirely whatever you are supposed to do, and you have an excellent leader in Dr. Vivekananda. I think he knows how to get you to do things done. So you just have to follow him. Because if you have a good leader like that, you don't have to worry much about anything else. You just have to
Okay,
follow
sir.
them. Hmm?
Okay,
Just
sir.
put in the
Definitely.
effort. The effort is most important. Put in the effort,
Yes,
you will
sir.
definitely get the result. And
Okay, sir. Definitely.
yeah, Vijayadashmi is not only to remove evil; it is the worship of strength. So remember your strengths and try to inculcate those strengths in yourself more and more. Understood? So
Okay,
let
sir.
this
Yes, I
Vijayadashmi bring
understood.
a wonderful change in your lives. And let us hope that because you
Okay,
are the
sir.
leaders for the nation. The nation is looking what your generation is going to do. My generation, it's over. The nation looked and is very sorry that we didn't do anything. So it is looking forward. You are that. I mean, 65% of the population belongs to this age group. So you have a lot to do. So wish you all the best in your future endeavors.
Thank
Thank
you,
you very
sir.
much for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you very
Thank you,
much, sir.
sir.
So let me announce one more thing which I have forgot. COVID-19 portal is there in Dr. NTR University. Already the circular
Dr.
from registrar sir has come to all the students. Everybody should go to 13 training sessions, and you will receive a certificate from WHO. And the certificate supposed to be submitted to the university before you join to the college, and it is mandatory from Dr. NTR Health University. So those people who have not done, please go through the COVID-19 portal of Dr. NTR Health University and get trained yourself. Thank you very much for everybody, and Srinivasan. Now I ask Bhavana Krishna to finish the program with a vote of thanks. Please, Bhavana.
Thank you very much, Vivekanand sir and Srinivas sir, for enlightening us today. It has been a great help to us, and it has been a good guidance on how we have to perform in our exams, or how well we can do, how can we significantly improve our presentation of papers or anything. And you also made us confident today that we also will be able to perform better than what we have done before. Thank you very much. And I also thank all the students who have joined today. Despite all the preparation and all that stress we've taken for so long, I really thank you for joining. And I thank everybody who has been in the meeting and who has patiently listened and asked questions too. Thank you very much, all of you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, and wish you happy Vijay Dashami. So
Thank
see
you,
you all
sir.
with the flying colors for breast cancer program. Okay. Bye bye.
Yes.
Bye sir.
Bye. Thank you, sir.
Bye Bhavana.
Bye, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.